High on Mount Everest, people don't usually die screaming. There's no gunshot, no sudden explosion, no dramatic fall you'd expect from the world's deadliest mountain. Most of the time, they die slowly. At 26,000 feet, a climber stops fixing their oxygen mask. Another tells themselves they're just tired, not dying. Someone else takes a final step and never takes another breath. Up there, Everest doesn't need violence to kill you. It just waits. And over the last 100 years, the mountain has claimed hundreds of lives, some so horrifying, so tragic, that they changed climbing history forever. Tonight, you're about to hear the 6 worst deaths on Everest ever recorded, not because they were famous, but because of how they happened. Welcome to the Silent Peaks, a channel where we uncover the darkest stories from the world's highest mountains, the people who dared to climb them, and the deadly moments that history almost forgot. In 1996, during one of Everest's deadliest seasons, an Indian climber collapsed inside a small limestone cave near the summit. He was exhausted, out of oxygen, and completely alone. Other climbers passed him. Some spoke to him. Some assumed he was resting. Some didn't stop at all, because stopping at that altitude can kill 2 people instead of 1. By morning, he was dead. His bright green climbing boots were visible from the trail, and for nearly 20 years, climbers used his frozen body as a navigation point. Turn left at green boots. Imagine becoming so cold, so still, that the mountain keeps you and turns you into a signpost. Even today, no one knows with 100% certainty who he was, only that Everest never gave him back. In 2006, British climber David Sharp reached high altitude with almost no support, no Sherpa, no backup oxygen, no rescue plan. He collapsed near the same cave where green boots once lay. Throughout the night and early morning, over 40 climbers passed him. Some asked if he was okay. Some thought he was already dead. Some were too exhausted to help. At that altitude, even dragging someone a few meters can kill you. David Sharp froze to death, slowly, while surrounded by people who couldn't save him. His death ignited one of the biggest moral debates in Everest history. Should climbers be required to risk their own lives to save others? Everest never answered that question. Rob Hall was one of Everest's most experienced guides. In 1996, he reached the summit late in the day, a fatal mistake. A sudden storm trapped him high on the mountain. He radioed base camp calmly, professionally, as his body shut down. His hands froze solid. He couldn't clip his safety line. He couldn't move. Hours passed. Then his voice weakened. His final radio message wasn't about fear. It was about his pregnant wife back home. By morning, the storm cleared. Rob Hall was gone. That single disaster killed 8 climbers in one night and changed Everest guiding rules forever. In 1998, Francys Arsentiev became the first American woman to summit Everest without oxygen. She paid for it with her life. On the descent, she collapsed from exhaustion and hypoxia. Her husband tried to save her and died attempting to descend for help. Francys was found alive the next day, barely. She had no gloves. Her face was black with frostbite. Her eyes couldn't focus. Climbers tried to help, but she was too far gone. She spent another night exposed on the mountain. By morning, she was dead. Her peaceful, frozen face earned her the nickname Sleeping Beauty. For 9 years, her body lay there, until a rescue team finally buried her out of respect. In 1979, German climber Hannelore Schmatz reached the summit but collapsed during descent. She sat down near the South Col and never stood up again. She froze while sitting upright, her eyes still open. Her body remained there for years. Wind would blow her hair across her face. Her frozen form stared into the horizon. Climbers photographed her as they passed. Eventually, strong winds pushed her body off the mountain, disappearing forever into the depths of Everest. Even today, veterans remember her as one of the most disturbing sights ever seen on the climb. In 1924, George Mallory vanished near the summit. Did he reach the top before Hillary? No one knew. For 79 years, Everest kept his secret. In 1999, his frozen body was discovered, perfectly preserved. His rope was snapped, his body battered, but one thing was missing: the photograph of his wife, which he promised to leave on the summit. To this day, the mystery remains. Did George Mallory die on the way down, or did he conquer Everest first and never get credit? The mountain still hasn't answered. Every body on Everest tells a lesson about ambition, about limits, about what humans are willing to risk for a moment at the top of the world. Everest doesn't care if you're experienced. It doesn't care if you're kind. It doesn't care if you're famous. Up there, everyone is equal.